All right. Now I'm recording. Now I'll get back to business. Monday night, I am having, instead of our meeting and having a guest, I invited my whole networking group, and they can invite anybody they want. So rather than we keep asking to have like another mixer somewhere in a different location, and they just keep putting it off and putting it off. So I said, you know what? Let's all meet at my office in the cafeteria and have a networking event up there. So Monday night will be a mixer, networking mixer. Everyone from my networking group will most likely be there. And oh, there's Mrs. Baratta coming in. She looks cute driving my truck. Yeah, everybody's going to be there. And, you know, I hope we have good attendance, because I want everybody to get into the networking mixer, walk around. The only thing I'll do is I'll probably get a couple of bottles of wine or something like that, so that there's something extra besides just the usual that we have there.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I hope you're all there on Monday night. I know that everybody here usually shows up anyway. So all right. So hi, Valerie.
Hello. How are you?
Great.
You and I are here.
Are you off today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. All right. So let me share my screen, and we're going to do a topic that I like called listening skills. So let me get on here right now. And I'm doing this with no mouse, so you'll have to excuse the if it looks kind of sloppy. All right. So listening skills. Can everybody see my PowerPoint?
Yes. Yes.
Terrific. All right. So right off the bat, let's talk about some listening skills. We're going to talk about good listening skills, what we consider good listening skills, and what's not. Listening and hearing is not the same thing. I don't know if anybody hears any, reads any Old English, or should happen to crack a Bible open once in a while. It says, lo and behold, and that is look and see, because looking and actually seeing are two different things. Listening and hearing is two different things, right? So listening and hearing, you might be listening, but you're not hearing what I say. You're hearing noise, but you're not hearing what I say. Everybody get that? Okay. So average people are poor listeners. Something that you learn some skills when you're interacting with people. A lot of times people want to say what's on their mind or think about what they're going to say next, and they're not really listening to the other person. So when you're engaging with somebody and you're trying to engage in conversation, it comes in handy for a networking practice. You're going to talk to somebody and you go, oh, there's somebody that I want to meet. He sells insurance or he does whatever. I want to go meet that guy. And you introduce yourself. A lot of times you're thinking of what to say when it's your turn to talk, and you're missing what they're saying. That's what I'm talking about. So you got to learn to get some listening skills. The only way to do that is to really rehearse in your mind well in advance the things that you're going to say, so that you're not just thinking the whole time, and then here it comes down to it's my turn to talk, and all I did was think about what I was going to say, and I didn't listen to anybody. Number one, it's, I think, a little bit disrespectful when you do that, because you're not really giving them the quality time that they deserve. And number two, you might have missed out on an important point. You know how we know that happens all the time? Because you've ever had a conversation with somebody, you're talking to them and they're looking at their phone and they're bing, 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 pushing the little buttons on their phone. And you're like, you didn't hear a word I said, did you? You know what I'm talking about? We've all had that experience. So listening, you gotta watch this video. This is a great example. It's only a couple of minutes long, but it comes from my favorite show, 2.5 Men.
Alan, there's something you should know about me. When I say I understand, it doesn't mean I agree. It doesn't mean I understand. It doesn't even mean I'm listening.
Then why do you say it?
It seems to make people happy, and that's what I'm all about.
Well, it's very altruistic, but I would prefer if you just be straight with me. Fine.
All I'm asking is that you keep in mind that we have an impressionable 10-year-old boy living here.
I understand.
Thank you.
Look, I don't care what you do in your private time, but when my son is here, I expect you to clean up your act.
I understand.
I don't like coming over here and being the bad guy, but I have to protect my son.
I understand.
It's hard enough going through this transition all by myself. Alan, at least as you, I have no one except my parents, and they're completely toxic.
I understand.
Do you?
I think I do.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I mean, I've always been the good daughter or the good wife. And you know what? Outside of those relationships, I don't know who I am. Am I gay? Am I straight? Who the hell knows? I'm scared about this, Charlie, and I'm totally alone.
Well, you know what? I understand.
Thank you for listening.
Hey.
I'm so sorry to take up your time with all of this.
Hey. I understand.
Thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome. There's 5 minutes of my life I'll never get back.
Yeah, I'm so glad you called.
Alan, there's something you should know about me. When I say I understand, it doesn't mean I agree. It doesn't mean I understand.
Go from
It doesn't
here.
even mean...
I think I can't get to the next slide. There you go. All right. Wasn't that great? I love that show. My favorite show. Did you see that? So you got listening. He's not listening, completely zoned out. He's just like, yeah, whatever. I took that in there because a lot of times we are listening, but we're really not paying attention. Anybody ever have that person? Come on. We all have that person that we've spoken to, had a conversation with, and when it's all said and done, you're like, I don't have a clue what we were just talking about. That person is just, I'm just waiting for them to stop talking so I can get out of here, right? There's a lot of different scenarios like that. So get back to listening skills. Let's get back. Moving right along. All right. So average person thinks good listening is not talking and being respectful. That's number one. Letting others know that you're listening with facial expressions, or just like you said, I understand, right? That you're being a good listener. And then when you want to make somebody feel like you were listening to them and actually paying attention, feedback, return feedback, answer or repeat what they just said. A lot of times it's like, let me get this straight. What you're saying is, or what you mean to say is, lets people know that you're listening to what they have to say. It's actually very interesting when you're engaging in conversation. Okay. So good listening is more than being silent. It includes interaction, really listening to people, answering back. The last thing they just said, you repeat it back. It actually helps when you're engaged in conversation. Why are these things important? Adults spend 85% of their waking time engaged in communication, some kind of communication. What we're doing is more and more. I think since the time I made this and we did this original one, I think it's more than 85% of the time people are communicating, and texting dominates that. There are people texting 24/7. I was on the highway this morning heading to Nanuet, and I'm sitting there and in traffic, and everybody's looking at their cell phone. Everybody's texting. It just, it's really getting to a point where people are looking at these visuals and they need some sort of a dopamine effect when we're talking to them. So you got to realize that it's almost like a training that we're going through, that we're learning this different way of communication. Unfortunately, having 3 kids, once they started getting cell phones, they were all older. My oldest daughter didn't get a cell phone till she was in high school. Now they're giving it to little babies, right? Little children have cell phones, and it would be interesting to see that somebody's in the back seat and somebody in the second row, we had one of those 3 rows Cadillac catawagons, as we called it. So there was 7 seats, and one of the kids would be way in the back, and one of the kids would be in the middle. And instead of turning around and talking like normal people, they text each other. That's this new communication that we have. So listening skills, even though to some people it seems like it's just normal communication, it's a dying art of listening to people actually speak to you. You might not be listening to me right now, for all I know. So besides listening, 30%, you know, they said there are 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as you speak. That's a good thing. Reading. Statistically, I'm creating blogs. I create a blog every other day now for one of our communication sites that we have. And you have to put lots of pictures. Unfortunately, you need videos and lots of pictures, because if you don't have pictures, people don't read like they used to. They need some sort of information in front of their face, either moving or pictures. We know that when you're making a social media post, you got to put reels on there, you got to put some sort of video, or you've got to have it pictures turned into a slideshow. Otherwise, people tune out. They're not paying attention. Very little reading goes on anymore. Unfortunately, right when I decide to write a book, people decide not to read anymore. And writing, forget it. Very important that you journal things. I take notes every time I have meetings. You always watch me. I reach down and write little notes out. I have a networking group, and this morning we had this whole big meeting, and it was great. And I take notes the whole time. I recap on it so I can look back and see what I'm doing. And I'm not telling you that because they're like, oh, Joe is so great. I am far from great. But I keep myself in track so I can remember some of the things that we talked about. Makes life a lot easier for us. So you have to develop better listening skills. So what are we going to do to do that? It's going to, by you listening better, it really does improve your self-esteem, because when you're communicating, that's why I love networking meetings. You get to sit there and engage. Everybody in the group that's going to be there are going to be members of my networking group. So they're going to love you regardless. So that's a great place to practice networking. You're going to come there, try and dress professionally. I know a lot of times we walk into that evening meeting. I might even see if I can get somebody to take pictures all night, walk around getting people in different settings, taking photos would be really cool. And anyway, it's a good place to practice. That's where you practice your line. If you're not comfortable telling people who you are, that's a great place to do it, because you're going to be able to do it to 35 different people and just introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Jenny. Most people know you already, Jenny. And there, hi, I'm Jenny. This is what I do. So what I specialize in. I've been doing this, this, and this. You know anybody looking to? I mean, that's the place. And are you going to? Is it going to be all my agents telling these people the same thing? So what? You just don't know which one of the people in that room are going to like one person over another. And when they end up with a transaction and they say, you know what, I met somebody at Joe's event and it really clicked that this person would really be a good fit for this other person in my group. And everybody knows in my group, they don't have to give the referral to me. If they meet somebody in my office and they want to give a referral, it doesn't have to come to me. You can say, hey, I gave Joe's office a referral today. That's totally cool. I don't care who they give it to. As long as they give it to somebody, it's okay with me who they give it to. So everyone in that room is open for you to engage in communication. Okay. When you learn to do this, you build relationships, you make friends. Friends are a source of business and a source of someone to lean on when you're in a pinch. And we all know that when you're in a pinch, that's when you find out who your friends are. Everybody got that one? Younger people, they don't get that. Older people understand that, you know, you learn to know who you can count on when your chips are down and who's there for you. So those are like real friends, right? So real friends are people that you could talk to, tell them your situation. And real friends are going to try and help you. Not real friends. They don't want to help you. They're not looking to make you do better, because that would elevate you out of their comfort zone. And then that would make you better, and that puts them down. I learned a very long time ago, there's two ways to be the tallest building. You can build yourself up, get yourself taller, or you could go around and knock all the other buildings down, and then you're the tallest building. So which one do you want to be? A lot of people, it's easier to just knock everybody else down so that you can shine. It's another thing to build yourself up and be the tallest building there. Okay. When you're a good communicator and a good listener, people like that. You build a good customer base. People are happy because you're not this pushy person who doesn't hear a word I said. I'm married for 40 years almost. We don't have a communication problem, because when she talks, I listen. When I talk, she listens for the most part. And we're not, but there's a lot of times where you feel a satisfaction when you're talking to somebody and they listen to you, and you knew what you understood what they wanted, and you were able to communicate that. When you're going to take a listing, you want to make sure that people understand what you're talking about, and you're listening to their needs. Not, I got to sell this house because I got to pay my mortgage. I want to do this in the right way. When you listen, you're a good listener. There's no misunderstandings, because if you're a good listener and somebody says something that sounds a little off, you could say, let me get this straight. I want to be clear. This is what you mean. And they go, oh no, that's not what I meant. I meant this, 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 and this. Okay, great. Because I want to know, I want to make sure that I get this right. So when you do have that, you can share information and you can influence people as well. Okay. When you're listening, ask open-ended questions. Those are who, what, where, when. You can't get a yes or no when you ask who, what, where, when. They have to give you an answer that is explaining so that you can have further conversation, right? Like, where are you moving to? No, it doesn't work. It doesn't fit there. You can't have a no. Where are you moving to? No. You could say, I don't want to say. Okay, great. Why don't you want to say? Is it top secret? I mean, I would be able to, that's why networking is so good. When you engage in things a lot more frequently, you get more comfortable. Vicky and Jenny have been to two networking things already, right? 2 golf outings or something. Vicky, Jenny?
One golf outing, and then there Vicky met one of her friends, and he invited Vicky to an event in his home, and then Vicky rang me.
Brought you with us. So you've been to 2 things where you're in a room with a place with total strangers, and it's like, I can either sit in the corner here, wallflower, sucking on a little drink here and hide, or you could just come out of your shell and just go meet a whole bunch of people. So you're making good connections when you do that, and you're getting good practice. Even if you went to a mixer and you go, oh man, I just screwed up so bad with that guy. Okay, well, pick the next one and keep going, right? If you're not sure you understood, it doesn't make you look stupid if you go, can you repeat that again? I didn't get that. That wasn't clear. I want to make sure I understand what you just said. Could you say it again? It makes you look like you're paying attention, not that you're dopey. Most people won't ask because they're going to think I'm an idiot because I didn't know what they said. I'll do that a lot of times. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Start all over again. I have a little different way I phrase my wording. I'm a little more outspoken, and sometimes it's comes off maybe a little obnoxious. I don't really care. You think I'm obnoxious sometimes, honey?
No, but I wouldn't
say hi to Donna.
Hello.
No way.
Hello.
Hi, Donna.
Hello.
Hi.
I just make it sound like
Hi.
we're not clear. I need you to. Could you, for me?
It's the only way to get her to a meeting. I have to bring the computer to her.
I would ask you.
Hi, Donna.
Wait, what is she saying? I can't really hear her.
Because she's with me sometimes, and she hears me say stuff, and sometimes it's like, that sounded really weird how it came out, or just a little rude. But it's just who I am. You guys know me long enough that I am who I am. But I'll just say something like, a lot of you have had conversations with me. I'm like, wait, stop. Say it again. I want to make sure I understood what you said. And it doesn't make me, I don't think that you're like, what a dope. I just explained it to him. He needs me to say it again. No, I think that it makes you understand that I want to pay attention. I want to understand what you're saying. makes a difference than I sit there and you're talking to me and then you feel like when you walk away, like he didn't hear a freaking word I said, right? It's better to be able to communicate that, you know, I need you to know that I know what you're saying, right? That's why you summarize it, you come back, you give it back, and, you know, engaging. It's really engaging, all right?
I have a question.
Yes, Miss Jenny.
I've had situations where I've been in events and like it's like a group where a group of people are talking, and then I've been in a situation where I've had like other agents interrupt me when I'm talking. So my question is this: like, how would that work in a situation when you're interrupted? And then I just sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna talk because this person just interrupted me, and that was rude.
Honestly, this is a really it's a business full of some horrible people. There's no question. There's some real horrible people here. They've got massive egos, and what they're doing that because they look at you, even though you think like I'm nobody here in the middle of all these big shots, but the reality is you're a threat to them. They feel threatened, or they wouldn't treat you that way. They wouldn't shut you down if they didn't feel threatened. So that's a good thing.
More than one.
Got to make you think differently. That's got to make you think differently about yourself, Jenny. It's got to be like, you know what? I am a force to be reckoned with. And one of these days, I'm going to be looking in the rearview mirror and seeing you, lady, as a has-been, because I'm going to be a top producer or am a top producer, right? So I honestly, if I've been in a networking group and I was at a table and I was talking to 5 or 6 people and I'm talking, somebody cuts me off, I would grab my drink and I would just walk away. Like anybody that's interested in you would follow you and have something to say to you later. And they would all identify that, you know, that person was a real bitch and that was not nice. But I would just walk out with my head up. But just keep in mind, there's a very cutthroat, jealous business. We all get along great. The culture in my office is respect for each other. And I think that's one of the things that it makes a safe place here, because everybody loves to hear that other people are doing well. When you hear another agent's doing well, you might say, wow, I wish that was me, but you don't feel like bastard, you know, he sucks. He shouldn't have. We don't have anybody like that here. Everybody likes everybody. We all get along and we all want to see, we're all happy for Ed. Nobody's sitting there going, son of a bitch, he shouldn't get that. I wanted that. No, we all feel happy.
No way. We're going to help them with the open house, and it's going to be a great thing. We're going to all sell it. Hopefully we can bring a buyer.
It's going to be great. I don't even know the details. I don't know when it's going to go live. I know nothing about it yet because we haven't spoken yet. But we're all happy for him. And that's the difference in our office. And the office where those people that are cutting you off, they're in an office where no one talks to each other and no one helps each other. And that's almost every office. Nobody communicates. You know, people that have come here from other offices, they need help. Nobody will help them, right? Vicky's a good one for that because Keller Williams calls her up and goes, could you show property for me? I'll pay you for the day. I'm like, what are you talking about? Keller Williams. Who's got more agents than Keller Williams? And they go, oh, nobody wants to help me. So could you do me a favor? Could you and they'll steal my buyer.
And they just don't trust they don't trust their other agents because they feel like they're going to steal them.
Steal your buyer. Right. So this way, I'd rather pay someone from another company because you'll get paid and you're not going to steal my client. Anyone in my office will steal my client. That's just insane.
That's crazy.
Right? So we have a different culture here. And I think that's all part of why things work so well here. But we're not done. But when you're meeting friends that you haven't seen in a while and you say, let's get together, have a cup of coffee, that's, you know, that's part of communicating and getting back to your roots of marketing yourself in the real estate world is our sphere of influence, right? So you're meeting somebody and you're not there just to say, I'm waiting for her to stop talking so I can say, I got my real estate license. Do you know anybody looking to buy or sell real estate now or in the near future? I promise I'll treat them like family. I'll keep you in the loop. I'll make you look good. That's not what we're trying to do. You got to go there and make them feel valued by listening to them. You become a better listener. And everybody please mute. I don't know what that noise is, but it's really loud. Okay, there we go. Back to, sorry. All right. So, have you ever been in a conversation and you found out that you've been listening with the wrong goal in mind? That's exactly what it is. You're not listening, and your goal is, at some point, I'm trying to make a connection with somebody without them feeling like you just used me. You met me for coffee. All you did was you want to tell me about your business and you want me to give you business. That's the same effect. When somebody realizes that's the only reason you called me was to tell me you're in real estate and ask for business, is the same effect as I invited you over. Nothing. I just wanted to get together. And then, oh, by the way, could you loan me $300, right? That's the same kind of feeling that you give when it turns out that meeting feels like the only reason that we're meeting is because you want me to help you and give you business. So you got to make sure that you have the right goal, that I'm building relationships. That's what we're doing. By building relationships, I go to my networking meeting. I don't sit there and go, nobody gave me any leads in the last 3 weeks. I'm building relationships. Plus, another benefit of networking is I had some legal questions. I pick up the phone. I call my lawyer. I said, hey, Laura, here's what I need. Do you know how to fix this? Or you know what this situation is? Blah, blah, blah. I'll get back to you. She called me back 20 minutes later. Here's the answer that you're looking for. Just like that. Where else do you get a lawyer that's going to answer your questions for free? When you network, right? Have insurance issues. Hey, could you do me a favor? What do you think this is going to cost to insure this situation? Or I got somebody just told me they got this incredibly high car insurance rate. What do you think? And let me give them a quote. And they come back and they go, yeah, I can help them. No, I can't help them. Right? At least you have these resources that you can go to. I mean, it's so great. Somebody was saying to me the other day, oh, I know who it is. Somebody yesterday, when I went to Tony Lowe's house, I'll tell you about that separately. But I went to Tony Lowe's house, and they've been living in the house for 40 years, and they've got a dumpster in the front lawn, and his wife, poor thing, is carrying stuff and loading it in the dumpster. And I said, do you need a couple of people to do this for you? Because I got a junk and rubbish removal guy. He said, well, I already paid for the dumpster. It's already here. I go, doesn't matter. These guys, they'll just come by. They'll do the legwork for you. They'll pick up the stuff. You got your wife dragging, boxes out. You're going to make her move the piano too? I mean, these guys will do it for you. So to have that available is just so great. And then having alarm people and, attorneys, insurance, architect, all these people that are at my disposal. And they're at your disposal too. That's part of this whole networking thing here. So good listeners end up being strategic. What am I trying to achieve as a listener in this situation? I want to make and build. This is the focus of this conversation, is I need to build a relationship. Again, why do I go to a networking meeting or some sort of mixer when there's 25 other realtors there? Why would I go there? Because I don't know. A lot of them are that obnoxious kind. And there's always the one person that says, you know what? I met a lot of people here tonight, end up gravitating to you. I think you're the person I would prefer to work with. That's what happens. I've gone to those things. The only reason that I stay away from them is a lot of times why I tell agents, if it's an agent mixer of just agents, they're there for business. You know what kind of business? The recruiting business, because they get a bonus if they recruit somebody and say, hey, I just wooed this person over to us. They came from Baratta Realty. They did 4 transactions last year. Pay me my $500. And that's all they're at. That's all they're out for. I think I mentioned to you guys in the past that when I first got my broker license, all of a sudden I was like so popular, and I got all these agents from other companies, and they all want to have like breakfast with me. They want to take me to lunch, and they're all like want to be my friend. And I'm like, oh, this is good networking, I guess. So sure, I'll go to lunch. And they're all asking me, talking to me, making it really like this great conversation. And they were like, you really should come to work in my office, blah, blah, blah. And then I had a conversation with another broker owner, and he said, don't you know, they get a bonus if they recruit, a bigger bonus if you recruit a broker. If you recruit an agent, you get this much money. But if you bring a broker in, you get even more money. So all of a sudden I realized that, you guys don't really want me. You just want me because I'm a paycheck to you, right? So you have to get past some of these things too. Okay, don't remain silent. Remember, you have to engage with people when you're doing that. You're talking to somebody, repeat back some things so they know that you were paying attention, okay? It's got to be a two-way conversation. Make sure that when you're talking, you're listening, you're repeating back some things, and then the suggestion part is just increasing or adding to the conversation. I think I'm kind of done talking about this thing at this point. Was this interesting? Was it helpful?